What's going on, collective? Welcome welcome back to Melanated Mindfulness Tarot. You already know, as you are entering this space, I am sending you all the good energy and the positive vibes that you may need in this time. We are going to get into a collective message, okay? If you have not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. And if you are interested in booking a session with me, if you're interested in supporting me on any of the other platforms, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and things of that nature, make sure you check out the description box because all of the information will be there. We're about to go into some collective energy just to see what is the energy surrounding us and come up with some creative ideas and possible ways for us to overcome it, okay? I will go into the main deck that I'm shuffling right now, and then we'll clarify a few before we get up out of here. Spirit, you know our hearts and our situations. Can you please give me the cards that I need in order for me to be able to deliver the message in a way that it can be received with an open mind and an open heart? What is it that we need to be made aware of right now? I thought we had something that ain't come out yet. I thought we had something. We'll start with these. What is this that we have here? Okay. Spirit, is there anything else that we need out of this deck to continue this message? Perfect. Perfect. All right. Underneath it all, we have what? The Six of Disc. So talking about some type of structure, okay? Getting things in order. You know how they talk about getting your house in order. So it's just really structuring each and every area or aspect of your life. You know, you don't want to pay too much attention to just one area, because once you start paying attention to that one area so much and you dismiss the other areas, then when you start focusing on another area, this area is going to start going to boo-boo. Right? So just make sure that you are putting yourself in a position to, feed all the areas or aspects of your life. You may have, your family life, your love life, your work life, your social life, your physical health, or, your well-being. It's just different areas. And again, I always reference when we were in middle school or when we were in high school, you had 6 to 8 classes a day. In each one of those periods, they had the same amount of time. It wasn't like you gave math more time than you gave reading, or reading more time than you gave science or the elective. Everything played a role and it played its part in order, how can I describe that? Everything played its part and contributed to your success, right? And you overcoming, being able to pass those classes because you were focused on each class while you were in that class for the time that was permitted to it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's just underneath it all. And let me go behind that one. It was the 9 of Swords behind the 6 of Discs. So pretty much what it's talking about is, you draining yourself. You could be, whether it's stressing yourself out or overthinking the situation or overthinking the process of it because you feel like you got too much to do at one time. Really just start breaking it down. Give yourself an hour and a half to clean, then give yourself an hour and a half to relax. And whatever you don't get done cleaning within that hour and a half, don't beat yourself up about it. Okay, I got done with what I got done with within that hour and a half. Now, the next time I have that on my schedule, I'll get back to that. You know what I'm saying? But you want to make sure that you are actually cleaning or doing whatever you scheduled yourself to do for that hour and a half. And then you'll start recognizing and realizing how you can maximize your time. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be getting shit done. So steps at a time. right? You get closer and closer. Every time you put energy into a situation or something, like, you get closer and closer to your end goal. All right. Now let's get into the reading. Okay, family. The first card. Look, the first card is the Seven of Cups. And if you look at it, it's like getting rid of all of the nastiness. And Cups is talking about the emotional parts of it, right? Like that water part, that emotional part. Anything that you do not like to feel, that you do not want to feel, it's time for you to start, really identifying why those things pop up. What are the lessons they're trying to teach you? What should you be learning from it so that you can learn what you need to learn and you can move on from it, opposed to you, holding on to the energies that you don't like and then causing yourself to worry or wonder, like, am I doing anything right? Why do I keep on going through this? What is, like, why me? All of the, for lack of a better word, like the pessimistic questions that we be asking ourselves because we're deciding to actually hold on to certain emotions, which most of them do come from the past. Okay, because we have her, the Queen of Disc. And if you can see it, like, it's this path, this long, long path back there that she's paying attention to. She's holding on to the things that she has, that she got along the way, but she's still constantly looking back there. That's a clear indication that there's still some healing that needs to take place. There is some healing that needs to be taking place because things that happened in our past, if they're not currently happening right now, in all honesty, like, it'd be like, why do they have so much power over us? Why does it affect us so much? Because we haven't healed from it. Obviously, if it still pops up and it still bothers you, there's still, like, we have to figure out, like, where do I need more healing in this situation? What is this trying to show me? Not why does this keep on happening to me, but what is it trying to show me? And it's pretty much just bringing things to your awareness. It is bringing it to the forefront of your mind. If you do not like to deal with this, if you do not like to sit in this type of energy over and over again, why do you allow yourself to keep being associated with it one way or another? And yes, it shows up in different ways all the time, but the feeling is still the same. The energy behind it is still going to be the same. And listen, that's not what we're trying to settle for. We're not settling for, oh, this is just the way it is. No, it can be fixed. And I heard somewhere over the last couple of days that, like, time, how they tell you time heals all wounds? No, you taking the time to process, you taking the time to identify and then process where these wounds come from, why you associate yourself with them the way that you do, right? And things like that. Like, why do I keep attaching myself to this energy if I know I don't like to feel it? If I don't like to be angry all the time. You get irritated and annoyed because you be angry that somebody else made you angry, but it's honestly a choice for you to even tap into that energy. I get it. Yeah, we get triggered. However, it's up to you to figure out a way to become creative and figure out a way for you to be able to deal with certain things and not let it affect you in a negative way. Okay, that's where the new beginning comes in. And because it's almost like you're sitting in that energy saying, like, well, that's just the way they is, and every time they do this, I'm gonna do that. That's giving somebody else power over you. When you have the ability to shift the way that you receive that, or even, shift the way that you associate yourself with that particular energy so that you can come into your new beginning. Because we have the Ace of Disc here, but the Ace of Disc is in reverse. Okay, so being able to have a different experience. I always tell my clients, whether it's coaching or whether it's reading, that you can't control how other people do things. You can really only control how you react and respond to these things and or people, right? So start picking up the lessons, start learning from these situations. When I tell you, and I tell you time and time again, this is the second collective reading that we've had talking about this. Where there is chaos and confusion, there is clarity. You just have to be willing to see it for what it is, opposed to trying to hold on to what you think it's supposed to be, right? You think that your parents, your mom or your dad, were supposed to be there a different type of way. Trust me when I tell you, they did the best that they could. They do the best that they can with the information that they have, and also like based on the experiences and things like that that they actually had to go through. You know, we don't, people's brains don't process information the exact same way. And even if you see yourself thriving in the places or the spaces that they were not able to, or that anybody else are not able to, it doesn't mean that they're less than. It doesn't mean that they're not worthy. It doesn't mean that they didn't try. You probably just came into a different way of thinking about it. You probably just came into a little bit more information. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't beat yourself up holding on to the things that you beat other people up about. Even if this is some stuff that you're not verbally saying, don't beat yourself up. And when I'm saying beat yourself up, that's with the emotions that you allow yourself to feel. Because for what? If it happened, it happened. You trust me when I tell you there was something that you learned from it, or something that you were supposed to learn from it. It's up to you whether or not you get the message. And if you get the message, cool. You'll deal with it better next time. It won't phase you as much as it did this time, the next time, or the last time as next time. It's not gonna phase you, because you start seeing things for what they are, and you recognize the role that you're playing. You recognize what it is that you have going on. You recognize what it is that you need to do for self in order for you not to keep on tapping back into those chaotic, dysfunctional, confusing emotions and situations and thoughts and all of that. All right? I think a lot of people need to recognize and realize how much our emotions actually help us. Like, it really does help you learn, and it helps you grow. I can't remember if it was, probably reading The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I think it's by Joseph Murray. And Asking It Is Given. It was one of those two books where it let me know, like, it helped me understand my emotions more. Like, when you feel something and it's low vibrational, right? Something triggering, and how you're choosing to react and respond to it, your body will start to speak to you through your emotions. So if you're getting angry, aggravated, frustrated, irritated, feeling hate, jealousy, rage, envy, and things like that, it's letting you know, like, we're not in alignment. And in your mind, you're probably thinking like, well, how am I supposed to react and respond to stuff like that? You really have to, like, take a little bit extra time and think, right? Like, don't be so quick to react and respond. Don't be so quick to react and respond. Spirit, can we have the cards to clarify the Five of Discs in reverse? Thank you. Clarifying the Five of Discs in reverse, we have the Six of Cups in reverse, the Seven of Wands. We have the Six of Cups in reverse, the Seven of Wands, and the Two of Wands. There's almost like this battle of, how do I make myself feel better? Right? Because the Six of Cups is in reverse. So it's like, when you get to this point and you feel like you're tapping into happiness, you're tapping into these things, something happens. And again, it triggers you back into this low vibrational state, which then has you kind of like battling or struggling with what you should do moving forward. I'm going to always tell you to do what makes you feel good. Do what makes you feel good. And a lot of the stuff that we result in doing does not make us feel good, but we think that it's okay to handle the situation in a moment. Excuse me. Do what makes you feel good. It's okay to cut people off. It's okay not to respond to ignorance. It's okay to not go back and forth with whomever just to try to get your point across. Sometimes you do gotta just throw your hands up. Sometimes you do just gotta walk away and let them have that. Because who you gotta prove a point to? Who do you gotta prove a point to? Your emotions and stuff are your responsibility. It's not somebody else's job to make sure that you're happy or make sure that you feel appreciated and things like that. Like that starts with you. And once you start to, feed yourself in that way, then yes, of course, you are definitely going to you're going to be able to start recognizing all that energy that's around you, and anything that's not in alignment with that, you're going to set that boundary for yourself. Like, I don't got to deal with this. Like, I do not have to deal with that. No love lost. We just not in alignment. Like, it's not even an expectation at that point. It's a requirement. So instead of you expecting people to be who you want them to be or who you thought they were supposed to be or whatever the case may be, you set those boundaries, like those requirements. This is what I require for people to be around me. This is what I require for people to, you know, have access to my energy. And it's not about you controlling them. It's about you developing a level of respect, control, and love for yourself. Spirit, can we clarify the Ace of Disc in reverse? The Ace of Disc in reverse. What? Again, that Ace of Disc in reverse was the one that's talking about, that new beginning, like the new beginning that hasn't been started, that's not starting just yet. There is like the energy of stagnation with moving forward. Let me shuffle one more time. To see if there's anything that needs to come out, and nothing came out. So clarifying the Ace of Disc in reverse, we got the Knight of Disc in reverse, and then we have the Chariot. So again, there's some resistance to you moving forward. For what reason? I don't know. Most of the time it's because of some type of fear, or it's because of some type of fear. That procrastination comes from fear, worrying comes from fear, the energy of being uncertain of what's going to happen next. That's a form of fear. And we want to shift that. You are the alchemist. So you have the ability to shift that energy from over there to where you want it to be. Right? You have to trust, you have to have faith in yourself, you have to have faith in your situation and how you're going to choose to move forward. Again, it was Thomas Edison. It took 1,000 tries before the light bulb was invented, before the light bulb really became a perfected thing, right? So if it took 1,000 tries, have you tried whatever it is that you're trying 1,000 times when it comes to like how you want to move forward and be successful and things of that nature? Don't sleep on yourself. Just because it doesn't happen as instantaneously as you may want it to happen doesn't mean that it's not there. You really just have to go through the process, because there's things that you have to learn, there's things that you have to do, there are people that you have to meet, there are people that you have to let go of, right? In order for you to be able to operate how you see yourself operating in that successful, peaceful place or space. I know that's wrong. I was about to shuffle and look at all these cards that just came out. I know that's wrong. Spirit, can we have the cards to clarify the Tower in reverse, please? I definitely hope this is helping, though. Make sure that if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you like the video. If you need more assistance or support in this, leave a comment or book a session with me. The Tower in reverse. Spirit, is there anything else that we need out of this deck for the Tower in reverse? We'll take those two that popped out over there. The Tower in reverse, we got the Moon card. Sorry, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. We have the Moon card in reverse. We have the Priestess in reverse. And then we have the Princess of Discs. It's just the energy of you overthinking and being in your mind, not being able to see things for what they are because you're not focused on your path, right? It's going to always be distractions around us. You have to be able to focus on your path. Like listen, just start setting goals. You can have your main goal, but you want to break your main goal down to pretty much like sections so that you can know that you're getting closer and closer, right? I don't know. What do you want to like? Whatever it is you want to do, you see that end goal, right? But you know that there is things that have to be done or put into place in order for you to get into that space that you're trying to get to. Don't stress yourself out by trying to get all the way over there without breaking it down, right? You can give yourself a week at a time, 4 weeks at a time. It depends on how you want to operate or how you want to move. But stop focusing on, the things that don't really matter. Stop focusing on, like, oh, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. Okay, it's a given. But seeking you shall find, asking you shall receive, knocking the door shall be opening to you. It's like, really, how committed are you to getting into that place that you want to be in? Right? Start doing what you can now instead of being so focused on the past or so caught up in what's supposed to happen in the future. There's steps and actions and stuff that needs to be taken now in order for you to be able to get there. And that goes back into that healing space. Like, a lot of times we're not able to move forward because we are so consumed with or by holding on to the things that have happened in our past. They happen for a reason. And again, trust me when I tell you that you've learned something from it. And if you can start to appreciate it, opposed to you being discouraged by it or holding on to any guilt or any shame and things of that nature, it'll start helping you become more creative. It'll start helping you like align more with your purpose, because again, there's always two sides to the spectrum, and you can look at things in a negative way, but then you also have the option or the opportunity to look at them in a more high vibrational and or positive way, right? So let's work on that. Let's work on like ridding ourselves of all of these. I don't want to call them unnecessary, because the emotions are necessary in order for you to become aware. However, the things that are not in alignment with the way that we want to feel, let it go. I mean, unless you like being angry, unless you like being depressed, unless you like being sad, unless you like being these things, right? Let's focus on the things that we can do to make ourselves feel better. Let's focus on the people who we can surround ourselves with, who bring out the light, who bring out the best in us, opposed to putting ourselves around people who always want to argue and try to point out your flaws or inconsistencies in a negative way, right? It's one thing for somebody to bring something to your attention and then try to support you or help you with it. It's another thing for somebody to always just criticize you and not try to help you find a solution to your situation, right? The past is the past. That's something that we cannot change. We can't change what happened, but we can change how we're going to moving forward, like how we're going to do things moving forward. Settling is not an option. I mean, it could be, because you know how they say like failure or giving up is not an option. Giving up is not an option. But people get so caught up in what it looks like to fail that they don't understand, like, it's not even failing, it's figuring it out. Like, you're figuring it out. And it might take you a little bit longer than it's taking somebody else. But you also don't know behind the scenes what that other person or those other people had to experience and endure in order for them to get to where they are now. So don't sleep on yourself. Allow yourself to be open to the new beginning it's waiting on you. You're not waiting on a new beginning. The new beginning is waiting on you. For you to decide, like, okay, this is what needs to be done and I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to commit myself to my goals and my dreams in order for me to get to them. All right? That is the message that I have for us today. That is the message that I have for us today. Thank you for tuning in. Again, like, subscribe to the channel. And until next time, love, enjoy yourself. Peace.